There they go into the back. The blue line on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider Seals to Sam comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park, and Hayden King will find the winners for the weekend's racing.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more. And the West Australian champion has done it again.
Hello and welcome to Talking Trots for yet another week here on TAB Radio. And this week, it's Glen Mortimer back in action. We had Richie Bell last week. We had Glenn Moore before that. And Michael Radley still unable to be with us. But it's good to have you back, Glenn.
Evening, Hayden. Great to be back after a short let-up. Michael is away interstate, so he can't be with us tonight. Great job whilst we were away with Richie and Silky. Did a fantastic job. Hopefully you found plenty of winners for the listeners, and very much looking forward to tonight's guest, who has some very good chances there at Gloucester Park. It was a big night last Friday night at Gloucester Park with the running of the GPHR West Side 3-year-old Colts and Geldings Pace and the 3-year-old Fillies Pace. Gutsy effort watching our coin in the first, very well rated by Junior. Soft win in the end for Kimball after drawing very wide off the arm. Was a very good win. Solid win for Steno in 155.4, beating a very nice field. Skylord, very nice type, is going to be a big player in the up-and-coming 3-year-old classics. Gutsy wins San Remo Beach in the 2-year-old event, and I see your best bet got up at Northam last week, which was G. Smith, and there was some effort in the last at Northam by Zwade. Well driven by Aldo Cortopassi, coming from a long way back for trainer Warren Robinson. Friday night at GP, a double to the very powerful Michael Young stable and a double to Michael George. First double on a Friday night, which is great.
Yeah, good to see Michael get a big win, especially with Faster Than Dad in the feature.
Oh, it was fantastic, and Kimball's going along beautifully for him.
Well, he's got a good record with it. 1 start, 1 win. Long may it continue.
And Senior got a double. On the driving ranks Friday night at Gloucester Park, it was 6 to Gary Hall Jr., just another masterclass there, and a double to Jocelyn Young. Friday at Northam, a treble to my man Trent Wheeler, and Saturday at Narrogin, a double to my man Trent Wheeler, so in excellent form. Monday at Pinjarra, driving double to Hayden DeCampo. Tuesday at Gloucester Park, driving double to Kyle Symington, Chris Lewis and Gary Hall Jr. And Wednesday at Bunbury was a training double to Justin Prentice and a driving double to Gary Hall Jr.
Well, there's been a plethora of winners there, dominated mostly by Gary Hall Jr., as we come to expect each week.
Certainly having Trent Wheeler, a treble and a double, so he's in very good form.
Yeah, I was speaking to Junior before Bromwich on Friday night at Gloucester Park, and I said, your record is 7, isn't it? And he said, yeah, I won't be getting that tonight. But 6 is
pretty good going.
A pretty good effort. Yeah, we're not going to waste any more time, Morts. We're going to get straight into our guest. He plays a key chance in the feature tomorrow night, the Botra Cup, and it's last Saturday's winner, Chal Patch, who has earned the title as one of the favourites.
15 metres at the bend. On the inside, our trump card. Joined on the outside now by He's a Cool Mac. The stablemate's going to cut it down into second, and that is Miss Lamar. But bolting clear with Chal Patch. Was driven with Assertion is going on to win. Down to the line, and it is Chal Patch by about 22 metres. Second place.
Yes, Chal Patch dominated them last week in the first heat of the John Higgins. We had the second heat yesterday at Bunbury, but he's made a winning start to his career in the West for trainer Nathan Turvey. Hey to you, Nathan. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, evening, Hayden and Glen.
Yeah, he's been going really well for you, Nathan. He was unlucky to have not held up that impeccable record by running second first up in the state, but he hasn't missed a beat since.
Yeah, look, he's progressing nicely. The first up defeat, I sort of said to Gaz, I hadn't done a lot with him, but I sort of thought if the gaps come, he could win, but I didn't really want him to have a hard run and make our own luck. So yeah, like Gaz was pretty unlucky not to get him clear, but it probably held us in good stead moving forward. That the horse had the run he did.
And it looks like a good test on Friday night in the Botra Cup, over 2,503 metres. The stand drawn 10 metres, so you on the inside behind the front line. How do you expect this one to play out, Nathan?
Well, the beauty and probably a good part about watching a stand is none of us know. So I think it's important to have a driver on that can sum up things that change in a race in standing start. So that's why I thought Gary would stick with watching our coin. So I went with Hayden. He's driving really well and he's one of our better drivers. So once things change after the strands fold back, I think I've got the right driver on to make the decisions from there.
Yeah, it should be a cracking race. It's a very good field, so that start's going to be very important. Arden's Horizon off 20, who's won 3 in a row there just recently. Watching our coin, very impressive last week, so should be good. But your bloke's performed very well since he's come across here for you.
Yeah, look, he has, I'm not going there thinking we're the horse to beat. Or I actually probably think he's a bit short in the market. We're probably the one that have come from a lesser grade and looked okay, but a lot of those horses have been racing well on Friday nights and got the runs on the board, and the standing start's another question mark as well. So, happy with my horse. Think he's progressing nicely, but certainly realise he's going to need a fair few things to go his way.
Yeah, I don't know how much form you've done on his New Zealand record, but he's had a heap of standing start runs, and importantly, he's had a lot of success in them early on in his career.
Yeah, look, I knew he'd race in stands, but to be honest, I hadn't delved into it too much. I think I might have read on the Gloucester Park preview today that his record, and that gave me a little bit of confidence, and took him to the track this morning just to do some jump outs, and we were 4 from 5.
Oh, it's not bad.
Hopefully. But it all changes out there, and fingers crossed he gets away, and then there's plenty of ways the race could be run, so hopefully he gets the right run.
Well, hopefully his jump out of the stand record moves to 5 out of 6 tomorrow night, and you've got Hayden DeCampo on board, so got to be pretty happy with that. He's in absolutely fantastic form, so you certainly got the right person on board. Nathan, how many horses have you currently got in work down there in Ravenswood?
Yeah, we've only got 9 in work at the moment, which is probably down on previous years. But I basically just work all the horses myself, so keeps me busy. But it's a pretty controllable number.
But we don't get to see you that often in the sulky up in Perth or even the country tracks.
No, pretty busy doing what I do. Yeah, just doing the horses and looking after the property. And I've found sort of probably over the years I probably am heavier than the top guys. So I think, in the country and that, I seem to think I can get away with it. But when we go to the big smoke and they're running along, I reckon the extra 20 kilos might catch up with me.
Yeah, well, you only got a small team, but it's a select team, and there's a bit of quality in them. And among those is Eaton Rock, who goes around in the first race tomorrow night. He has gate speed, but so does Hoppy's Way to your inside. How did you weigh that one up early?
Hoppy's Way began quite quick, a couple of weeks ago when they were in the same race. I certainly don't think we'll be crossing it, but probably happy to be quite aggressive earlier so we can either, I probably wouldn't mind just being outside it, or, we don't want to get shuffled too far back. He's a horse that's got his fair share of quirks, but, generally he earns a check, so if he keeps continuing to do that, we'll be happy.
Well, is there any chance he could potentially be leaders back? A little bit of fun's not the fastest beginner. If you press the issue early, could you open up that position?
I haven't had a look at that option, but he is very quick out, Eaton Rock, when you ask him. So, if Gary thinks that's an option, I'm sure he'll let me know tomorrow.
He was held up 2 starts ago and did finish up behind the leader and ran a very good race. And then last week was a very creditable 4th, but there's another scratching the watchmaker, which brings Paul Edward into barrier 6. So it looks like being a very competitive race. And as you said, he normally earns a check. And you've got Junior on, who's in pretty good form after last Friday night.
He's in good form all week, but he ran second on all of mine, so it's not making me look too good.
Nathan, race number 3, you've got Mea Culpa drawn in close in gate number 2. We know this horse does have some gate speed, but he didn't begin that well last week. Do you have any kind of reasoning that you think that might have been the case?
No, I don't. Normally he is quite quick out, and I'm not sure. I haven't watched the replay, but I was surprised. I was expecting a good challenge from the horse outside, but generally he does get out quicker than that. So hopefully tomorrow night I've put a hood on him, and hopefully that sharpens up a little bit, and just probably kept him fresher this week than last. So we'll be coming out quite aggressive, and I think he runs his best races. Either leading or his probably best races have been in the breeze. So if we're not in front, I'm pretty content to hold the breeze.
Yeah, he was far from disgraced, considering he had to come wide over that last 800, and it was just too tough to run a horse down like Kimball. So you must have been happy enough with the effort.
It was. He's just not sort of a sit-sprint sort of horse. He's more, like he likes to be up outside him on the bit or rolling along in front. So, I was happy that he only checked. But, hopefully he goes good tomorrow night.
Once again, you've got another very capable driver in young Kyle Symington aboard, who's been in outstanding form for some time now. So that's very good. One of the other main chances, Master Publisher, on your outside, has been racing in very good company of late. But outside of that, not too many other chances, except probably the last start winner, G. Smith, who's drawn the pole. So certainly got to be a good chance in that, and over the 1730 metre mark, as you said, get up outside the leader or even lead up, and he'd be very hard to beat.
Yeah, well, and I think 1700's his pet distance. I think he's breezed and gone 153 flat over it. So, we'll be aggressive, and hopefully he goes well.
Some of the other horses in the stable, Rock and Roll Sass, Benji, Show Pony. How are they coming along?
Yeah, Show Pony's back in work. He's done a good job, but probably on outer country. I'm not sure he's going to be a well beater, but he's a nice enough little horse to have. Benji did damage to a tendon, so he's out until Christmas time, which he exceeded our expectations. His credentials in New Zealand weren't anything fancy, but he was going quite well over here, so it sort of ruled him out of nugget contention and things like that, which not saying he would have won it, but I'm sure he won the $50,000 4-year-old race earlier in the year, so we would have been aiming for it. And Rock and Roll Sass, she's starting to hit her straps now. She come over and she was a bit of a handful, but she's probably one of my favourite horses to work and get on with now, so I think the best is still ahead of her.
Well, she goes around on Monday. I'm not sure if you've had a good look at that race, but that looks a suitable contest.
And I think she drew inside her main...
Yeah, Cyclone Charlotte.
One of the dangers. Yeah, and she has got lightning gate speed, so I'll be in Bali, so I won't be giving instructions, but hopefully the driver's going to go forward hard.
Yeah, well, I guess the key there is probably trying to keep the advantage on Cyclone Charlotte, and that's what was able to prove the difference between the two when they met only, a week and a half ago now. So she's a horse that's trending in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, she's got really good gate speed, and she seems to be able to roll along at a good clip, but a lot more controllable now, which makes the driver's job a lot easier. Well,
hopefully you'll get a win there, so it'll just be one more extra bintang you can put on the bar whilst you're over in Bali.
Yeah, look, even the second we'll get a couple of bintangs on the bar, I reckon.
Very good. No, I appreciate it. And Nathan, really appreciate your time this evening. You got 3 really good chances tomorrow night at Gloucester Park and 1 there on Monday. So good luck tomorrow night at Gloucester Park. Enjoy Bali, and thanks again for your time.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Nathan Turvey. Really good to have him on, Glen. We haven't had him on for some time. You were saying a few years ago, so it was great to get him on, and his team is really finding some form at the moment. Yeah,
they certainly are, and he does have 3 really good chances. I think Mea Culpa's going to be very hard to beat. Chal Patch, very interesting runner in that stand. That should be a great race. And Eaton Rock is it's another very interesting race, the first one there. So he's got 3 really live chances, and then 1 on Monday. So team's going well. That was bad news about Benji. He really was a a very solid performer last time in, so that's disappointing. But no, the team's going well.
Yeah, it certainly is. This segment, Mr. Mortimer, is brought to us by...
The one, the only, Retrovision.
Absolutely.
For all of the electrical stuff you love, lowest price guaranteed, and RAC members save an additional 5% every day at Retrovision. Never a better weekend than this weekend to get into your local Retrovision stores. We've got big savings on mobile phone. How's yours looking there?
Well, look, it's cracked and the screen, well, the cover doesn't even work, so I might be able to come in and you can do me a deal.
Could be time to get into your local Retrovision store. As I said, RAC members save an additional 5% every day at Retrovision. Now, Hayden, what was going on? I was listening to you on track on Friday night.
Yeah.
There's a new start distance for the races. That race 2 was over 1,725 metres.
What have I done?
No, that's what you'd said.
I said 1725.
1725 race 2.
Oh, no. I think what you mean is I've said the 1725 start point, so the 1700 and the 2500 start point.
Okay.
You understand now?
Yeah, I've got you. I thought, Jesus, making this up.
Yeah, well, you might not have been the only one.
And Jeopardous?
Yeah, I got caught in between Jeopardy and Treacherous, and
right, okay.
Was all at sea.
That's all right. I thought you just might have. It made interesting listening. Did a very good job, by the way, Friday night.
Thank you.
On track there. So
yeah, I was walking out of the van after I said Jeopardous, and I thought, what the hell am I talking about? But I knew what I meant, but no one else probably knew.
And how did you finish up last Friday night on the punt?
I was pretty good, I think, for the Talking Trots listeners. Hopefully the Talking Trots listeners were the ones that backed G. Smith from 5 into $1.95, because that was an absolute cave-in and was not without a heart flutter at the end.
Oh, got the money, which was good, and got a very big push on the show. So hopefully the listeners did tune in. But good news is tonight we've got Scott Bomber Hill back with us, and we've got a very special guest as well. Ben Krahe is going to be joining us a little bit later on. BK, who we haven't had on for a long time now, but
a couple of years, probably nearly.
Couple of years, and he fields at Albion Park, so he'll be able to dissect a few races there at Albion Park on Saturday night, which will be great. And of course, we've got WA's own Magnificent Storm going around in the Sunshine Sprint on Saturday night at Albion Park. So it'd be good to talk to BK about that. First up, your thoughts?
He did a lot of work to be in that position. He was running the whole way, but I do think he is capable of more than that. So hopefully he is a better horse again this weekend, and he can show what he really is made of, because he will need to, because the horses he is going up against, there will be no chinks in their armour, and they are elite beasts. Yeah,
and that's one thing we need to really, keep in mind. As you said, he really had to do a lot of work at the start last week. Was first up after travelling. I expect him to strip even fitter again this week, but like you said, the class he's in is elite. Leap to Fame last week was unbelievable, so it should be a cracking race. And then, of course, into the Gloucester Park, $400,000 Group 1. So we'll certainly be barracking for him, and he's got the ace, Hayden DeCampo, on board, so he's got everything going for him.
Was it just me, or did Hayden look really weird in the cart last week?
It didn't look like Hayden when I first
glanced.
Not
at all.
Yeah, but
I was going to ask him about it on Tuesday, but I ran out of time, so I don't know. He just had his hands high. He was leaning right back. Usually Hayden's more of a loose, fluid kind of driver, so not sure what he was going for, but we'll see what he shows up like on Saturday. And I think Hayden's actually staying over there this week, so he'll be able to live up the sunshine in Queensland heading into the Gloucester Park.
As I am sure he will. But no, all eyes on Albion Park on Saturday night as we see Magnificent Storm go round. And wouldn't it be absolutely fantastic to see him beat that lot?
Well, it would be some feat, considering what Leap to Fame did last week. If anything can beat that, They're going some serious speed.
It'd be interesting over the 1,660 metres, drawn out there in barrier 6 where he's going to finish up. It's going to be a very quick mile.
Well, hopefully BK can enlighten us later on.
Yes, better than I certainly can. But we look forward to talking to Ben Krahe, but later.
Yep, and as we go to the break here at the end of the first segment, it was really great to see Faster Than Dad win last week for Michael George. Really nice guy, Michael. Always enjoy catching up with him at the Trots. And it was another race. It was a heart-rending finale, but he just did enough to get the job done.
On the turn, it's Faster Than Dad leading. Who's the Dad and High Price around the outside. Still no run. Paul Edward from Hillview Bondi and Armour X Factor right off the track. Faster Than Dad in front. Now getting out Paul Edward, giving chase to Faster Than Dad. Faster Than Dad and Paul Edward, they go to the line. Paul Edward and Faster Than Dad in a photo. Who's the Dad and Armour X Factor in a photo.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
Illawong Mustang, a length and a half away to the rest of the field. Cheer the Major tries to fight back. Watching Our Coin the outside. Watching Our Coin just in front of Cheer the Major. Peter Petrify on the outside. It's still Watching Our Coin in the centre from Cheer the Major. And Watching Our Coin from the breeze over Cheer the Major. Peter
collects the cash. Watching Our Coin, and it's become a recurring theme with this horse's record. He's been turning up and doing it week in, week out. He's a bit of a truck. He can just keep ploughing on. And he gets another opportunity to do it again in tomorrow night's Botra Cup, Glen.
I thought he was very good last start. He just, like you said, he just kept going, really kept going. So he's in great form, and in that Navy Cup, which proved Botra Cup, which looks like being an excellent race. So, and he, where is he? Off 10 metres.
Watching Our Coin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, well in it.
And Gary Hall Jr. is shooting for his 6th Botra Cup success. I read Ken Casellas' article earlier on today, and he's won it 5 times in the past. Striker Blow in 2002, Spirit of Shard in 2008, Classic American 2015, Naughty Maravu 2016, and the Bucket List in 2018.
He was a good horse, the Bucket List. Used to like watching him.
Yeah, Gary Hall Sr. was actually looking at the Bucket List and buying him out of New Zealand, but he didn't do it. And Mouse Brennan was the one who capitalised, and they had a great run with him. Matty Young was in the ownership.
Yes, I know. He had a really good run. He was a very nice horse. Very nice horse.
Just before we get into this segment, Glenn, this one's brought to us by
Bayswater Mazda. Mm-hmm. Driving is better with Bayswater Mazda on the corner of Garrett Road and Guildford Road in Bayswater. Get in there and see the team. Great range, great service, and best of all, got great coffee. So get in there and corner of Garrett and Guildford Road in Bayswater. And I can vouch there's nothing better than driving a Bayswater Mazda. They're a beautiful car, very well appointed.
Let's not waste
see the team.
Any further time. Bomber Hill's on the line. Our saviour's back in action. Hey, Bomber.
G'day, Hayden. Feels like forever, but glad to be back on deck.
Yes, and you've been in some good form, Bomber, so please make sure we carry it over to tomorrow night at Gloucester Park so we can find some winners for the crew. They did very well last week, found a few winners, and then was a very big push on G. Smith, so I'm sure they did very well. So so what have you got for us, Bomber, to kick off?
Yeah, we're going to start in
race 3.
Yeah.
Yep, let's have a look at the market. Number 1, G. Smith is $11, last week's hero. He may be the villain this week. Number 2, Mea Culpa is $1.60. 3, Master Publisher, $5. 4, Walsh at 100 to 1. 5, Brookie's Jet, 51. 6, Rockaball, $10. 7, American Bullet, 34. 8, Regal Chevelle, 34. 9, Master Yossi, $12. 10, The Kraken, 17. 11, Alterette, $12. And 12, Power and Grace, 34. Where do we look here?
Yeah, went for a bit of value here with Out of Red. I thought he'd been quite good of late without having a whole lot of luck. He gets a nice trailing draw here and he'll land in the front half of the field. I think there's pretty even speed across the front, and I thought Regal Chevelle over the mile, he might just launch, and there could be a bit more speed than some of these can handle. And he's just going to be ducked in behind them there with a bit of cover, and so long as they run it upside down, he can be really strong late. And I think at the price, he's found the right sort of race for him to have a small play.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race over the short distance of 1,730 metres. Mea Culpa Looks like they're going to come out very hard there, very short though at $1.60. So Bombers found us a bit of value there in Eltoret for Sarah Wall, driven by Dylan Edgerton Green in great form as always. So Bomber in race 3, horse number 11, Eltoret. What's the staking plan?
Yeah, just a 1 unit bet. He obviously needs a fair bit to go his way, but I couldn't come into the price. Mea Culpa as good a chance as he looks. I just thought double figure odds and a touch better. He's going to give us a nice side as long as they run it upside down out of red.
I like it. Yep, as you say, Mea Culpa very short at $1.60.
Let's move on to race number 4. Garrard's sponsoring the whole meeting at Gloucester Park tomorrow night. Thanks to them. Get in and see Tanya and the team at Gloucester Park, and they'll sort you out for anything you need out there. The 4th over the 21:30 tomorrow night. Number 1, Stormy Skies, $6. 2, My Prayer, $10. 3.55 Reborn, $4. 4, The Amber Hare, $1.95. 5, American Armour, $4.40. And 6, Sahara Storm is $17 here, Bomber.
Yeah, I'm with the Amber Hare, Hayden. I thought she was the one with the most options here, returning from a spell. The speed from Stormy Skies and also 55 Reborn. So I think Jocelyn can just pop in behind those two and see what they do. If she happens to keep the one by one position, then so be it. But even if she has to claw her way to the breeze in a race of this nature, I think she's the class horse and happy enough to back her ability to get the job done first up here.
Certainly is the class there, Bomber, no doubt about that. I can feel something big coming on here. Race 4, number 4, the Amber Hare, trained by Jocelyn Young and driven by Jocelyn Young. What's our staking plan?
Yeah, 3 unit bet, Morts. Pretty keen. Like I said, I'm not convinced that she lands either breeze or one by one. I'm not sure, but either way, I think she'll get the job done.
Yep, agreed, 100%.
Okay, we're going to go to a break now, Glen. But last week in the 3rd race, it was domination by the Michael Young stable. They went 1, 2 and 4 with the Mustang leading, Moonlight Drive dictating from the breeze, and Beat City running on from an unpromising position into 4th. And it's worth noting that it's been a really upsetting week for Michael and Kiara and the team out there, because we had the unfortunate passing of 18 Carrot a couple of days ago, who was their Group 1 winner, their maiden Group 1 winner going back, 8 months ago now. So a really sad time out there in Mardella.
Hayden, it's very sad when you lose any horse. But certainly one as special as she was, from a racing prospect, from a breeding prospect, and obviously had provided the owners and all at the stable with some very happy times. So, yeah, devastating news for the team.
Yeah, as we go to the break, though, let's reflect on warmer times, and the Mustang was able to win.
A link to the Kraken, then comes Beat City, the last one, Brookie's Jet. The Mustang and Moonlight Drive turn the corner with the Mustang. In front of Moonlight Drive, Blitzen by, right behind them, Classic Choice. Out wider, Beat City. The Mustang holding Moonlight Drive. The Mustang goes all the way. A treble for Junior with the Mustang. The Mustang has beaten Moonlight Drive. Classic Choice got...
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Prince of Pleasure, then himself and the Code Breaker. Into the straight, Finvara. In front of Prince of Pleasure on the outside. Finvara and Prince of Pleasure. Prince of Pleasure goes up to Finvara. Finvara just in front. Prince of Pleasure can't get there, and all the way Finvara clings on and beats the stablemate Prince of Pleasure.
Yes, Finvara was able to win. Perhaps not as comfortably as many anticipated. The price was a low $1.12, but a win is a win, Glen.
Certainly is, but would have got a little bit nervous at some stage as they turned the corner, but very nice horse, Finvara, always has been, just had his issues along the way, but looks like they got him right now and he'll be a contender come summer.
Yeah, he's been battling feet issues his whole career, Finvara. And he was a little bit lazy out in front there, I think. Maybe some gear changes might be in order, but he is a very promising horse indeed. And sometimes it's as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, straight down the page. And the exotics actually paid really well on that race.
Finvara into Prince of Pleasure and...
the Code Breaker himself, Vampiro, in 5th.
Very good.
Now, before we get into this segment, Morts, this one is brought to us by...
Loans 1, 2, 3. Car loans, personal loans.
It was a good segue that trifecta, 1, 2, 3?
Into car loans, 1, 2, 3.
It's as simple as 1,
loans,
2,
1, 2, 3. Cars, personal loans, travel, commercial loans. Who do you see?
Steve Sell.
The nude nut.
Mm-hmm.
Loans 1, 2, 3, free credit report. Contact Steve Sell on
1-800 100 100. Oh,
you do
gee,
listen.
I'm good
you
at
do
this.
Listen. Steve Sell still doing things the banks can't. He's a very good man, Steve Sell. So get down and talk to him about everything you need. But hopefully after Friday night, we won't need to talk to him.
No, hopefully not. And we're going to continue the preview with Bomber now. And the next race we're going to be looking at is the 8th on the program. And that goes at 10 o'clock tomorrow night. And number 1, Lenny Rose, is $34. It's 9 o'clock, not 10 o'clock. I'll get my times right. Number 2, Feeling Empathy, is 100 to 1. 3, Flight of Fame, 185, has been in brilliant touch this campaign. The horse that Bomber has long been a lover of, number 4, August Moon, at $2.30. Number 5, Sporting Grace, at $6. Number 6, Purest Copper, is $11. And 7, Hunt the Magic, is $15. Well, sometimes you find the one and you just maintain that passion for them constantly throughout time, or are we jilting August Moon tomorrow night, Bomber?
No, I do try to not let emotion take over when I'm punting, Hayden, but yeah, I just kept coming back to this filly in August Moon. She's back, and I'm happy to be with her. She's tended to have the wood on Flight of Fame to date, and happy to forgive her for that performance before she was tipped out for a spell. She may have just had enough there, and she didn't look anywhere near her best. She can do some work in her races, and the fact that she looks likely to have to sit up in the breeze here doesn't faze me too much. I don't think Junior will be doing too much with her early, and they won't be able to break any speed records. So I think she can just sort of amble up outside Flight of Fame, as she did last time that scenario unfolded, and face the breeze for the last sort of 1,000 metres and out-sprinted Flight of Fame. So I think the similar sort of thing can come to fruition here, and happy to be with her.
I think I can just sense a bit of favouritism there with August Moon. One of your favourites there, Bomber, Flight of Fame, has been in very good form for Cap Warwick and Chris Lewis, and draws inside August Moon in gate number 3. Race 8, Bomber, number 4, August Moon, Luke Edwards, Gary Hall Jr. What's the staking plan?
Yeah, happy to have her back, and happy to be on her back as well. More, it's a 2-unit bet. I just like the way she put Flight of Fame away last time this sort of scenario unfolded, and I think it can happen again.
Okay, first up, it'll be a great contest.
And we'll find out if it really is true love tomorrow night. Race number 9 on the program. We've got a scratching here with number 1, Mickey Springstep. It goes at $9.35 this contest. And that brings number 2, Curious Boy, into $23 and pole marker. Number 3, Franco Encore, is $1.85. Number 4, Menemsha, at $3.40. 5, He's a Vibe, also $3.40. And 6, Copycat Queen, at $8, Bomber.
Yeah, I thought this was a sensational price. Franco Encore, really, I thought he'd open up much shorter. He was far too good for He's a Vibe last time when they were both first up, and Franco Encore was more than happy to take the sit on that occasion, and he may well again, but I think there's a chance with him drawn a little bit closer together tomorrow night, but he might just try and kick underneath and hold the front, and if he does, I can't see them beating him, but even if he does take the sit again, I do think they'll be single file for a large portion of the race, and he'll still get his chance, so yeah, pretty keen to be with him to round out the night.
Yeah, I think it should be pretty close. Did get a good run last start, Franco Encore, and was too good. Got Kyle Symington on board. Always in good form. He's a Vibe, Ryan Bell, Gary Hall Jr., small field. Be interesting to see how it goes. 1,730 metres. Race 9, number 3, Franco Encore. What's the staking plan, Bomber?
Yeah, 3-unit bet. I'd love to see him poke his legs under and hold the front, but even if he doesn't, I'm pretty keen that he'll get the job done. So happy to go out with a 3-unit bet.
If he can get the job done, the punters will be begging for an encore from Bomber, but the best we can do for now is a multi. Do you have one?
I didn't really. I thought we could probably go at the Amber Hare into Franco Encore. I thought they were probably clearly the two best of the night at backable prices. A couple of other short ones I didn't really want to get involved in. So, yeah, I think if you want to go down a multi route, just take that race 4, number 4, into race 9, number 3.
So that multi currently is... I've just got to do my calculations. This might be beyond my mental maths. It's $1.85 into $1.95, and that comes out as $3.60, which is not bad.
We'll take that. Happy enough to end the night with that one, that's for sure.
Like the Confidence Bomber, very good. Steve Sell, not required. Good news. So, great to have you back, Bomber, and good luck on the weekend with our beloved Bombers heading down there to play Geelong. Should be an interesting game. They're going beautifully. But, Bomber, thank you for your time, and we look forward to chatting to you next week.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks very much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Great to have the great man back.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. It's going to be weird when you, Bomber, and Michael all get back together in the same room.
Looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. All right, where are we at? We're throwing to a break, and then, then we're coming back.
Yes, we are. And last week, we're hoping this week that Jocelyn continues the winning run going, but Skylord was able to dominate last week in the West Side 3-year-old Colts and Geldings Pace. Had it sewn up a fair way from home. Velocipede went below expectations, and a couple of others fought out the placings in behind, but in truth, it was a one-act affair.
A length and a half Eastern Advance, Velocipede, Flashing Arc, and then ready to fly with Reg Lawson, but it's all Skylord into the straight, opening up. Young hasn't moved. He's sprinting away from them. Flashing Arc gets to second, but Skylord bolts in over Flashing Arc, Eastern Advance, Velocipede.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
Danger zone, back of the tail, he's Charlie's Angel. This is the moment we're all here for. He's about to open up, and have a look at him go. Leap to Fame, are you not entertained? Leap to Fame racing clear, and he absolutely bolts in. Leap to Fame beats Rock and Roll Hammer. Tight go for third. We've got...
Wow, what a stunning performance. And... well, that quote, "Are you not entertained?" you'll know from the movie Gladiator. And it was a gladiatorial performance because he had to be something superhuman. Well, I don't want to be anthropomorphic, but he had to be super horse to be able to produce an effort like that. And he is one of the most stunning horses we have seen in recent generations in Australia, Glen.
Certainly is. He's an outstanding horse, and we're just set for some great racing coming up over the next 2 to 3 months. There are some outstanding horses on the scene, and he is certainly at the top of the tree, you would think, at the moment. So we look forward to seeing him go around on Saturday night. We've got a very special guest, but before we get to our very special guest, I just need to... this segment is brought to you by Steel Blue Boots, Australia's leading supplier of work boots. Whatever your trade, we've got your boots, built for comfort and made for work. They are a mark of true skill, Hayden.
Indeed they are, and it will require a mark of true skill if anything is to beat Leap to Fame this weekend. And our very special guest for tonight is Ben Krahe. Welcome to the program, Ben.
Good evening, Hayden. Good evening, Mort. I noticed that Rads has given me the mess. He's probably drinking red wine somewhere when he found out I was coming on. Is that right, Mort?
I can't lie to you, BK. I never have, and you're probably dead right there. He is drinking red wine somewhere, but it's certainly not because you're here. He was very excited when he heard that you were coming on board for a cameo appearance. And what have you been up to, BK?
Well, it's been a long time since I've been on the show, Mort, and I'm still doing the same thing, betting on the trots, a little bit of other stuff as well. But since I spoke to you last, it was about 13, 14 months ago now, I've got my bookmaker's licence again for the second time.
Yes.
And because I live 15 minutes from the border in Queensland, I'm actually in New South Wales, but I live closer to Queensland than anywhere else, and I traipse around the countryside going to some of the bigger type meetings. So I do the carnival at Albion Park for the Trots and the Greyhounds, and also the Gallops went off to Magic Millions and a few other country tracks for the Cups like Dalby and Warwick and these type of places. So probably about 20 meetings last year I managed to get to, and loving getting back out bookmaking again. Speaking to the people and taking the people on, which is what I love doing. And look, I can't get enough of it, to be honest. And it's great to get. It's my second time around with my licence, and this time, to be able to go and field at Albion Park for their biggest race, and to be able to go to the Gold Coast for Magic Millions for their biggest race, etc. Before, when I had my licence 20 years ago, I was going to Singleton and Warhope Greyhound, so definitely stepped it up, and it's really exciting. And look, when you go to the track and you're a bookmaker or a punter, and you see the likes of Leap to Fame, you can only appreciate what a great sport that we all love here.
Certainly is, and I've seen some pictures of you fielding on your Twitter feed, because you're one of the most active people on Twitter, and I see you there and how things have changed. I'd see a little note on your board there which says you take cash or card, which is good. And
look after the people. No Bitcoin accepted though.
No Bitcoin accepted, but I see another sign there saying that other meets by application. So if somebody comes up and wants to get on somewhere else, you'll have a look.
Yeah, so when we're at the races, we'll do all the stakes, obviously, and when we're at the dogs and the trots, obviously there's no prices coming through from the other bookmakers, so we don't sort of advertise them on the board. But if anyone wants to bet at Gloucester on Saturday, on
Wagin, can we bet on Wagin?
Right, you can bet on Wagin on Saturday night on track with me at Albion Park, and I'll always give you near enough to the top price in Australia. So we like to look after everyone. If they want to bet at the dogs there on Saturday night, we'll bet them on the dogs. If they want to have a bet on the trots, we'll bet them on the trots. So we look after them there. And and also another thing I'm doing with Albion Park there, which is a really, great initiative that we've come up together with them. I don't think anyone's done it forever. I don't even know how long it's been, but every race, 5 minutes before the start of the race, there we're doing a live feed to me on course, and I'm going to go through what bets I've laid and what prices have been moved, throughout the race, and give you an insight about to what's actually going on the betting at the track. And let me tell you, people think it might be dead, but we were writing some pretty good bets there last week. Couple to lose 8,000, couple to lose 7,000, 5,000, this type of thing. $1,500 on $3 chances, etc. So not many bookmakers will bet you that anymore online, but we're still betting them on track, that type of thing. And if you follow the Creek, at the Creek, I think it is, on Twitter, and also myself at Ben Krahe on Twitter, we've still got 2 weeks to go on the carnival, and 5 minutes before every race, you'll get a live cross to the track, and I'll be letting you know what sort of action I've taken and what's happening with the market. So it's a really great initiative that we've come up with Albion Park for the 4 weeks, and I don't think anyone's ever seen it before. And everyone seems to be loving it. They just seem to be liking the information that they're getting from the track, and there's been quite a few good pushes for some winners there. And also on the Creek's Facebook site for the 4 weeks, myself and Edgar Patterson, who's the media guy there at Albion, we're doing previews for pretty much every race on the Friday too. So there's a lot of promotion going on. They're doing a fantastic job at Albion Park. It doesn't hurt that they're getting such great horses there, but the crowds are really up this year, and it's great to see. And they're coming from everywhere. We've got the local hopes, we've got Sydney horses, we've got Emma Stewart going up there, and now we've got Ray Williams bringing horses over as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and we do have that representation with Magnificent Storm, and I know a few people are going up to have a watch. So if you do take any bets on Wagin on Saturday night, you'll know where they're coming from. We're sending them over as emissaries.
Well, it's quite funny. I was there the first night, and I think it was Ray or his son, one of the two, were come up and introduced myself, and actually backed the winner in the last at Belmont while I was there at the Trots. And then he proceeded to introduce himself as the trainer of Magnificent Storm. So I should have known that it would have been hot money at Belmont, that's for sure.
Well, it was probably Grant, and Grant probably won the race.
Yeah, Grant's his son, and he's one of the leading trainers here in WA. So
right.
He used to train for Bob Peters, and they had amazing success. PK, that sounds like a fantastic initiative that you're doing up there, and I've seen on the Twitter feed, and I've watched and listened, and the insight which you give is fantastic. So it's just a way of giving the punter more insight and getting them to punt.
Thanks, mate. That's what it's about. And I'm not necessarily giving any opinions in that last 5 minutes. It's just purely what's happening on with the people that are betting on track. And there's quite a few smarties there. I'll tell you that much that I have to dodge. And look, Mort, I just wanted to also talk about the other great initiative that the Albion Park are doing on Saturday night with the Hayden race, which is race 7 this year, and that's the slot race. And that was another terrific initiative from Albion Park, and this is not like any slot race. It's not one where you actually buy the horses, but you bid for the draw. And then you've got to go and find yourself a horse that you want to get. And, I have a little tipping service myself, and got quite a few subscribers there, and we've formed a little syndicate, and we've got 35 guys together, and we bought gate 6, and we've got a horse called Away We Go, which is now $1 million to 1 in the race, but that doesn't matter. There's going to be 19 guys of that 35. They're going to be on track on Saturday night to watch it go around. The winner gets a slot into the Eureka, which is huge, obviously. But look, again, this is another type of thing that Queensland are doing fantastic. They're doing, they've got a slot race, but it's with a difference. And I'm trying to do my part again, and we've brought 35 guys into a syndicate that probably would never look at Queensland trots before, and they're all super interested. And 20 of them are going to be there on Saturday night. They're flying in from New South Wales, from Sydney, from Victoria, etc. So again, just trying to get some wagering up in Albion Park, and I think it's if it's not the leading state in Australia for this type of thing, then it's up there with them, that's for sure. I know we can't compete with you guys in the prize money, but the promotion these guys do is fantastic, and I think it's second to none. And it's if you've ever been there for the carnival, I'll tell you, it's just a fantastic time of year. It was 27 degrees here the other day. The weather's fantastic. It's still a good track to go to and watch Albion Park, and the atmosphere was really good last week. It's only going to get better in the next 2 weeks. Culminating in the Blacks of Fake in 2 weeks.
I must admit, the up there in Queensland, they are very forward-thinking, and they are doing an excellent job, really excellent job, continuing to think outside of the square and just find ways of trying to promote the sport and promote betting on the sport. So, yeah, there's some great ideas there. So the Hayden, it's over 2,138 metres. Away we go. Chantel Turpin, Pete McMullen. What price are we expecting, BK?
It'll be over 100 to 1, mate. It's going to struggle. We're racing, Speak the Truth, which is absolutely flying and ran a good 7th to Leap the Fame last start. Captain Shuffle has won 3 or 4 in a row, and it looks the leader from gate 5. And those two have a mortgage on the race, but hey, you've got to be in it to win it, and I don't really think any of the guys are too concerned if we don't win it. They've all put in probably a couple of $100 each, etc. And we've got a slot holder, a horse in a slot race, and not many people can say that in any code. That's for sure. And the other little bonus, if you do happen to jag a win, besides getting a spot in the Eureka, is that there's going to be there's a framed. I saw it on Tuesday. There's a framed, I think it's a Grey Nick, signed by Matthew Hayden himself, that'll go as the trophy. So it's another little piece, little thing that would be fantastic to get if you could win it. That's for sure.
Yeah, here I was thinking the race was named after me.
No, unfortunately, you can talk them into that over at Wagin. You can have the Wagin slot race.
We could get that off the ground,
because it the Wagin Hayden.
Well, Wagin was my track when I was a young boy. I used to go out to Wagin, and every Friday they'd have the races there, because the only way I could persuade Mum to go was because she really liked the curry at Wagin Trots, and then Dad was an inveterate punter, so we always had a good time at Wagin Trots, and that was my beginnings in the industry.
Well, I don't think there's any chance BK will know where Wagin Trots are. I think he struggles to work out where Gloucester Park is. You don't watch a lot of Gloucester Park, do you, BK?
It's past my bedtime, that is, mate. You know that I'm getting old. I'm nearly as old as you, Morts, and it's past my bedtime there over in this side of this side of Australia.
Well, I tell you what, you are doing a great job for harness racing as always.
Thanks, mate.
Do enjoy following you on Twitter. There's always a good lot of banter there, and as you said, that cross before the 5 minutes before the race, so people can see the market movers, is another great insight. And talking about insights, can you give us a bit of insight into some races there at Albion Park on Saturday night, and in particular your thoughts on the Garrard's Sunshine Sprint?
Well, it's a fantastic race. You know, currently Leap to Fame, I think it's $1. I'm just trying to get the market up now. It's $1.80. They bet as much as $2.40. The tab. I actually was there on Tuesday for the barrier draw. There was a meeting on at Albion Park, so I put prices straight up, and I just, of course, wanted to trump the tab, so I went up $2.50 and got shot down straight away, and later to get it $2. So I'm already in a little bit of pain there. But I'm going to have to lay it again at $1.80. Of course, like any good bookmaker, you need to average your price down.
Yep.
And secondly, you know, where's it going to get to in this race? Like, it's not going to see much of the rails, that's for sure. We've got Team Grimson with Better Zip It and a Cast No Shadow, and we know, you know, Better Zip It won the, $1 million race, the Nullarbor over there.
Yes, won the Nullarbor in Perth.
So you guys know how good it is, and Spirit of St. Louis was ahead second in that race. It's $15 in this race, so shows you the quality that they think Leap to Fame is. Cameron Hart is driving Better Zip It. They've declared, and Jason Grimson on Twitter has declared that it's going to lead. You've got a Cast No Shadow, the stablemate. I can't imagine he's going to let Leap to Fame get around too easy. Black Sedance is the mile track record holder there in 149.2. We've got Expensive Ego, 50-1. It's not going overly well. But then we've got your horse there, Magnificent Storm, which from all reports was going to have a trial last week, but from inside the second row managed to find the lead after about 50 metres.
Yep.
5's into $3 last week. Someone liked it. You guys might be able to tell me a bit about how good it is. It has won 32 from 51, I see, so it's pretty bloody good. And
yeah,
then
well...
and then you've got the likes of it's Better Zip and Holds, and there's a war up there. You've got Mark Dan, however they want to say it, sitting pretty behind there for the Emma Stewart camp, getting an absolute, just smoking its pipe on the fence. And let me tell you about Albion Park. The fence is absolute dynamite place to be. It's very hard to make ground out wide here. And as I said, Spirit of St. Louis is $15. But tell me a bit about Magnificent Storm.
Well, he's a star in WA ranks. He's been the preeminent horse over the last 6 to 12 months at least, possibly even more. And it was a disappointing performance on the face of it last week, in the sense that when he got to that position, you'd probably expect him to win. They did not come up for air at any stage, though. 152.9 is nothing to be sneezed at for the 21.38. I guess you could probably give us a better guide as to that time at Albion Park. How does that register?
Oh, look, it's obviously very quick. I'm not a huge believer of just looking at the time straight off, but it did lead and run that time, which sort of shows the importance of it. But you've got a horse like Swayze, which ran it down, which, you know, Bruno's up for a couple of starts now, and it's absolutely flying. I don't know where it gets to here. I don't know, you know, I have to have a look at it, how quick it is out and whether it could cross these ones inside. On face value of last week, you'd have to think that $13, it's probably going to drift. I can't see too many on track wanting to back it. If we were over in WA, maybe the parochial crowd would back it, but over here they're probably going to stick to the pegs here, and it'll be it'll be 1 and 8, and then obviously Leap to Fame. So I think at $13 now, you'd have to think that it's probably going to get out to 20-1 by the time the race comes around. And, you know, for a horse of its quality that everyone tells me how good it is, that's going to be good odds. But I just don't know where it's going to get to here.
Got one of the best gate drivers in Hayden DeCampo. Extremely talented, very, very good at getting him out of the gate. So it will be very interesting.
1,053 career wins, not bad for at the age of 31.
He's one of the up and coming stars here in WA. He's a very accomplished trainer. has a great pedigree through the family, and he is one of the best drivers, but more importantly, one of the best gate drivers out of.
Well, speaking of gate drivers, look at this front row: Cam Hart, Pete McMullen, Luke McCarthy.
Yep.
You know, Jack Trainer. You know, and then we'll throw in Hayden there as well. So, I guess Grant Dixon may want Magnuson Storm to have an early dip and to sort of carve them up a bit early, because that might be its best chance, to be honest. So it's an intriguing race. I think I'll probably get egg on my face here at some stage, but the $1.80 seems short enough for a horse that's either probably going to have to go back, or you know, it's going to be 3 wide the trip if it doesn't. And it's got bigger fish to fry next week, so how hard do they want to go this week? You know, it's still a huge race, Group 1 race, but, you know, we're going to see how good Leap to Fame is this week, that is for sure.
We keep saying that every week, though, and then last week he just churned out 3 consecutive 27s like it was light work. He barely breathed.
Unbelievable. And let me tell you, and it was, look, I'll go with the negative first. We're talking about a horse that's going to be hugely up in grade here. It beat Rock and Roll Hammer and, you know, last start, and, of course, they're good horses for their age group. They're not champions for their age group. They're good horses for their age group. But what you just said then, 27, 27, 4, 26, 8, and let me tell you, we're in the stand, and Dixon couldn't hold it hard enough. It just went hard, held to the line. And let me tell you the other thing about Leap to Fame there last week too. The crowd stood and cheered when it rounded the home turn. Now, how long since you've seen that happen?
Got a lot.
You know, a long time. I can't remember it happening since I saw Black Fate win it at Menangle, and everyone stood and cheered. And it's just, I think that there was a huge crowd there last week, and I did this carnival the year before as well, and I think there was probably 4 times as many people there last week as there was the year before. And I would say that at least half of the crowd came to watch the horse, not the race, and that can only be good for harness racing as well.
It's great for harness racing when you get that sort of thing, when people come to watch a horse, and a horse like him, and as you said, to see them stand up as he rounded the corner and just cruised away down the straights. It's just great for harness racing. It becomes a spectacle rather than just something to bet on. And $1.80, barrier 6. If he had to sit 3 wide, could he sit 3 wide?
Well, I'm happy to lay the $1.80, that's for sure. You know, definitely can do it. There's no way that you can say you can't do it, but, you know, $1.80, we're looking at, does it win at 55% of the time? If you think so, $1.80 is value. If you think it doesn't win 55% of the time, then you probably want to be backing something else. If I was on the other side punting, I couldn't take $1.80. But, you know, I think with what they say, with what the map looks like being, MacDan is probably a good 1x4 type bet, I would have thought, in this type of race. It's $5.50 at the moment, $1.70 a place. That's, you know, you might be able to get $1.80, $1.85, $1.90 a place come start time, and if you sort of had 10x40 or something like that, I think you'd go pretty well with this race here.
Could you see them giving the track record a shake? What is it, 149.6?
Yeah, well, you know, we've got Better Dippet, which has done 48.6 at Menangle. We've got Cast No Shadow, which has run a similar time. You've got Black Sedan, the track record holder there. Expensive Ergo's around 48.6. You've got Leap to Fame, which, you know, we've already spoken about. Spirit St. Louis won 48.2. So, yeah, you'd expect that, you know, as long as there's good weather, you'd expect that the track staff want to make it quick, because people love times, people love headlines, and if they can break the track record, it's only going to ensure an even bigger crowd the following week for the grand final.
Yeah, we've got the Blacks of Fake, $400,000 Group 1, which should be
it'll be a fantastic race.
Should be an amazing spectacle. Like you said, if they could run a track record, or just, you know, just continue the theatre rolling along with Leap to Fame, the crowd next week will be just absolutely amazing.
It's 149.2. I've just looked it up.
Yeah, 149.2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they can go 148 around Albion, they're going pretty well, though, aren't they? Especially, and let me tell you, if they can do that off the pegs, well, then you do have an absolute star.
Yep, certainly do. And of course, heading towards the Eureka later on, so that should be a cracking race as well. But we're at Albion Park on Saturday night, so we've had a quick look at the Sunshine Sprint, and of course we know that Away We Go's got the Hayden all wrapped up. So where else can we look on the card?
Oh, mate, there's also the Group 1 Golden Girl, and you've got Manhattan draw number 1. It's got its best draw since it's come over from New Zealand. It's been pretty unlucky and pretty close up in similar type races of late. Don't forget it went around last time and it broke its gear, but prior to that it was only beating the neck behind Fairy Tinkerbell and Uptown Beach Girl, which are both in this race, and that sat in the death seat that night. Bob Butt's over to drive it, interestingly. It's got pretty good gate speed. It wouldn't need it to hold out Fairy Tinkerbell, but if it does, it's going to be extremely hard to beat. But also, if it does lead, which it should, you've got Bravia Kelly sitting on the back of it, and Bravia Kelly, it ran 5th in the Miracle Mile only 4 starts ago. It's had 3 starts back this campaign. It's gone absolutely huge at every run this time in. It's going to get a suck run behind Manhattan. If there's any gaps late, it's the one to beat on the pegs. You've got Amore Vita, which is 14th and 30, coming off a second to Matt Dan. Last start only beaten the metre and a half at Melton, and 2 starts ago it ran second in the $200,000 Queen Elizabeth 2 mile behind Bravia Kelly. They went 49.5 at Menangle. It was 3 wide early, 3 wide the middle. So it covered ground too to go that speed, so to go that time. It's going to follow Fairy Tinkerbell through, so it's going to get a good run through. So if the pegs, if Manhattan can't get Bravia Kelly to the sprint lane, or not the sprint lane, but the to the home straight there, Amore Vita might be the one just sort of getting momentum and going wide and going and getting a break on them. Uptown Beach Girl was really good last week. They backed it like it was a good thing and it won. It beat Bravia Kelly, but it drew 2 and led and won. Drawn 7 here and it's $5. I can't see it starting single figures. It'll be in double figures by the time the night rolls around. I would have thought it's flying, it's improving, but I just can't see how it gets into it out there. There's some other good horses here that are big prices. Fairy Tinkerbell, $21. It's an exceptional mare. Soho Astoria is first up. One big race up here last year. It's won its last 2. Won the $100,000 big final there at Wagga. Other good horses in the race are just huge odds, but obviously another probably a pegs-dominated race. But I'm going to back them. Well, I have backed already at $6.50. Amore Vita at $5 still. I think it's each way all day. Going to be probably sitting 1-1-2 there, and if Alpha can take off and get some momentum up, it might catch them napping there. I think we'll see who's the best mare in Australia here, probably.
So that's race 6, number 10, Amore Vita, a little something each way, driven by the puppet out of the Emma Stewart stable. So
yeah, hard to beat that combination, isn't it?
Certainly is. We've spoken about the Sunshine Sprint. We know what's going to win the Hayden. So anything else there we can find on the night, which is a bit of value for the listeners, BK?
It's pretty tough. The last 3 races are pretty short. There's the third last race there. It's pretty much $2 and 1 and 8. So take your pick what you like there. Multiplayers, the Lost Storm in the second last race. It's an absolute star, but it looks to have a mortgage on the race. It's $1.20, and Rockin' with Attitude in the Queensland Trotters Oaks is prohibitive odds. No doubt every multi-player will have their eyes lit up for those last 2 races.
Yep.
On Saturday night. It's not my type of thing, as you know, but there's some good lead-up races, obviously early too. There's 11 races on the card there. It's a really good race. The Trotters race is pretty good. It's a Group 3 race. Van Sank first up again there. It's a very nice horse. Majestic Trio for Brad Hewitt, the one at Menangle last start. It's a very nice horse as well. You've got Smoke and Bandar, the Kiwi, which hasn't handled the standing start races over there so far. It's a very nice horse. Trial well behind the mobile and finally get the mobile, and then Adele, which is absolutely flying down there as well. It's drawn 11. It's a very nice race. I thought Van Sank at $6 is some sort of value there too. So it's a very strong card. Make sure you tune in at the Creek on Twitter or at Ben Krahe on Twitter. And if you want a preview of all the races on Friday, it'll be on the at the Creek Facebook site.
Facebook page, yeah. BK, most of the locals here are probably going to be on Magnificent Storm, so the price could be a little bit shorter over here than what it is over there. So if that's the case, I'll just have to pick up the phone and see if we can we can get set for the right odds. You know I'm good for it, BK.
Well, you never know.
you know I'm good for it. But look, it looks
I
to
know
be,
you're good for it. So.
looks to be a great card. Some great initiatives, magnificent support from yourself as always. You are the best, BK, and we really do appreciate you coming on. And I'm going to try and extend the friendship here and see if we could maybe get you back next week to cover the Blacks of Fake. Would be outstanding.
Always happy to talk to you guys.
Really appreciate
How's
it.
Bomber going? Is he tipping plenty of winners for you?
Yeah, he's actually been doing pretty well. He I saw there was a bit there on Twitter the other night from Betfair about his June. He had a very good June, but like all tipsters, punters, we have our good months and our not so good months. So, no, he's been going very well indeed,
Excellent.
mate. So,
good to speak to you guys again. And Morts, we've been friends for a long time, and it's great to talk to the another one of the gold, what is it? The smooth talking Glen Mortimer. He should be hosting the love song dedications on Saturday night over there somewhere too.
2:00 in the morning. Yes, I past my bedtime, but we'll give it a try one day. BK, thank you once again. We will tune in on Twitter and the Facebook, and we look forward to speaking to you this time next Thursday night.
Thanks, Morton Hayden. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, Ben. That's good to have BK back on the program. As he said, it's been a long 12, 13 months or something. So very generous of him to come aboard, and hopefully he's found us some winners there for Saturday. Very, very generous with his time, BK, and he's he loves harness, and he does whatever he can to try and promote it. And as I said, had been watching his Twitter feed, and 5 minutes out before the Albion Park trots, and giving a good insight into what people are backing, and he's just always looking for ways to try and get some extra dollars in the punting, and looking forward to having him here next Thursday night as well. You know what I found just before, when I looked up that track record, I was having a look at the other track records there at Albion Park, and Swayze and Leap to Fame, who are two of the most renowned horses right now in Australia, they have the co-track record over the 21.38 at 152 there, and they're half brothers. Well, there we go. So they're both out of Let Us Reason, Swayze. It's amazing, isn't it? And Leap to Fame. And I was looking at the most recent efforts to try to get another star out of the damn Let Us Reason, and she missed 4 times in the space of 2 years, and then she got one down at her most recent try. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that one can be even better. Another superstar coming along. Speaking of stars, we're going to see one, I think, on Saturday night at Albion Park, Leap to Fame. What we saw last week was outstanding, but great field, and the draws made it very interesting. He's going to have to be good to beat them. Yeah, well, the scenarios that Ben put forward do make it pretty difficult. Sit up on speed 3 wide, and Grant, from a trainer's perspective, would hate that idea because he's got next week to worry about. Or go back, take your medicine, and try to do it from behind against a crack field over a mile. It's mission impossible whichever way you look at it, and he's still odds on, which speaks volumes of his potential. So that goes back, it just brings our WA horse into it a little bit more. Well, Magnificent Storm, we know he gets out fast, but I wouldn't say his gate speed is his best asset, so I'm not entirely sure on how quick those to his inside are. I'd have to do the form on the race, but I couldn't really see him running to the front because we did see him in the Nullarbor. I thought he'd lead that night. Same. And that was a bit of a trap, though. He was drawn near enough to the inside from that start point at Gloucester Park, which is a curse, and he didn't get out as well as he can. So I think whichever way he goes about it, he's going to have to produce a better performance than last week to be in the winner's stall in the Sunshine Sprint. Well, we certainly have our fingers crossed and everything crossed for him that that he performs well, and we've got no doubt that he will. Now, talking about 2 things. Some winners at Wagin? Yeah, I've got some. So if you are heading up to Queensland to watch Magnificent Storm, this is where we can find a buck And then Ben will know you're a Talking Trots listener if you go up to him and say, hey, can I have a bet at Wagin? I do know someone. He's going up tomorrow, I think, and he's going up there for a while, so maybe a week and a half. So
make sure he gets a bet on with
He'll
BK.
be on. And he'll be on race 1, number 4, Rocks the World. I liked this horse a bit last week and was able to get the job done there. This doesn't look any more difficult. Did it in fine style as well. Did show a bit of gate speed for the first time, which was pleasing to see. So he has that tactical burst about him. And then he took cover and he put Tiger Stevie to the sword very comfortably in the end, Rocks the World. And I think despite being drawn gate number 5, the map looks a bit more difficult than last time. He can still get the job done. So Rocks the World, race 1, number 5. And I'm coupling that up with race 4, number 3, Galactic Lioness. Last Saturday, you actually messaged me, Morts, and you asked for some tips. And I said, Galactic Lioness, a place only. Did you watch it?
We backed it.
Well,
ran third. Unfortunately, there was no...
by this far.
No third yes.
And
very unlucky.
Unfortunately, she just had to use a bit of petrol there in the early stages, which was probably significant.
It was the undoing, otherwise she would have run second.
She runs second. But I think she can win this Saturday because she's got Immaculate and Extinction drawn inside her. Immaculate, a last start winner, did that from behind the leader. Extinction isn't a horse renowned for his early speeds, and Galactic Lioness is. Her best asset is her gate speed. So I think she can force forward, run to the front, give them something to catch. Kyle S. jumps aboard, very good reinsman, and I think it can win. Galactic Lioness, not the kind of confidence you'd probably be expecting for a horse that's won 1 from 70, but I think this is it.
1 from 70.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Race 1, number 5, and race 4, number 3.
Yes.
Okay. Now, patience.
Patience.
Yes.
What am I being patient for? Good things come to those who wait.
The fable that you were, particularly after your horse...
after he's decided to pull his finger out.
And win at Northam. And
hey, well, I don't know if I've spoken about this, but Michael and Kiara weren't happy with me after I came on here and I said some less than positive things about me. And, however, that may have been the spur for his increase in form, because Michael said he'd been playing that clip on repeat to him and then suddenly he improved. So maybe they have me to thank. But you did message me after he won that race at Northam and you said congrats, and I said it's just incredible how much he improved over the space of a month. So if only you could have that improvement translate from every month, and we'd be looking at a superstar, because it was outrageous how much he improved in that short space of time. He had a break, had 2 weeks off, and he came back in on Saturday, I think. So hopefully he's a month or so away and can continue the winning form going.
So you have to be patient.
Yes, you must be patient.
Yes.
This is a patient study.
It certainly is, and sometimes horses just take time to come to hand, and even then, more time to mature and develop. So having that patience, which not all owners do have, is really important.
I'd like to think I'm reasonably patient. I think I was taught patience at a young age, because my 2 first loves were trots and fishing. Fishing was probably the big one when I was younger, and I had to sit there and watch my float for hours on end, bobbing up and down, refusing to submerge under the water, and then eventually, eureka, it goes under and you've got a big redfin perch on the end of the line.
Because you're very patient, that's why. Yeah, and I don't think you were so patient with your horse at the very start. You're pretty quick to sack him.
I just have to get the soundbite, have to get the views to the podcast.
But you know that the M Young stable can certainly improve them, so a bit of patience. Anyway, he won a race for you at Northam, and
well, he's won 2 now.
Yeah, it's great. Well, I think that's probably about it for the week, Hayden. It's been good to be back.
Yeah, really good to have you back, Morts. And
it was good to have Bomber back.
Radley back next week?
Should be, hopefully, yes.
Yep.
So he's over, went to see family in the east, so hopefully he's back. BK is back, which is great, so looking forward to next week, and good luck to all the owners and connections of Magnificent Storm. he is hoping he goes well.
And to everyone heading out to Gloucester Park tomorrow night, and all the connections who have runners in the Botra Cup and runners across the weekend of pacing, good luck to you. Thanks for tuning in to Talking Trots. That's it for this week, and we'll catch you all again same time next week.